So you work a 9 to 5, but you want to stay in shape. I'm going to share with you what I did as an investment banker working 70 plus hours a week that you can incorporate in your life. Okay, the first thing is that you have to utilize your weekends. Even the busiest workers have some free time, and if you have a typical office job, that's most likely going to fall on the weekend. I see so many people schedule their rest days on a Saturday or Sunday, but that's when you're least time constrained and you have the most energy. So it makes a lot more sense to instead schedule a rest day on a Wednesday or really any day in the work week where your energy levels are lower. In fact, if you're really busy with an unpredictable schedule, it may make more sense not to schedule a rest day at all, because your work commitments are going to force you to take time off from fitness anyway. But weekends are definitely underutilized, and even if you just work out on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 2 days a week, that's going to go a long way. And if you're really antisocial like me, you can work out on Friday night as well. Okay, second, and again, this is just what I did. You all can do what you think is sustainable and realistic for you. But I think skipping happy hour and just cutting down on alcohol is a great way to improve your fitness. First of all, I don't think many people know this, but alcohol is labeled as a group 1 carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. And there's been a growing consensus, especially in very recent years, that there's no safe level of alcohol consumption, at least if we're talking about physical health. I understand, drinking may have social benefits for some people, but alcohol is full of empty calories. There's no real nutrients. It inhibits your body's ability to sleep and recover well. It increases the risk of all-cause mortality. So just a really problematic substance across the board from a physical health standpoint. You may not be able to cut to zero consumption, but any reduction is going to have positive effects. Again, not strictly advising anyone to do one thing or another, just reporting facts and recounting my personal experience. Okay, third, I optimized my living and work conditions so that fitness was as convenient as possible. So that can mean living near a gym if that's where you exercise, so you can minimize your commute time. It can mean living near your office or within walking distance or biking distance of your office, so that you can walk to work, bike to work, and you can essentially combine your commute with cardiovascular fitness, thereby killing 2 birds with 1 stone, right? So for me, as a banker in New York, I lived about 12 minutes away in walking time from my office, so that every day I went to work, I would get, for sure, at least 25 minutes of cardiovascular exercise. All right, fourth, and this one is more of a principle, and that principle is that half a loaf is better than none. Just because you can't do the perfect workout, or you don't have time to do whatever your normal workout is, doesn't mean that you should do nothing at all. A little bit is better than none at all. So you normally work out for 60 minutes. Let's say you have only 30 minutes. You should still go to the gym, and when you have less time, you can increase the intensity by, say, reducing the rest period between your sets, or going at a faster pace on the treadmill or the elliptical. But more to the point, even if you're not increasing the intensity, some activity is better than none. Fitness, like interest, compounds and pays dividends in the future. So every little bit helps. Okay, 5. This one was helpful for me. I think it's especially useful if your priority is to stay lean as opposed to maybe pack on muscle mass. But one thing you can experiment with is intermittent fasting. So when I was in banking, there were many days where I was working so much that I didn't have time to eat a lunch, right? So I would just work through the lunch. Now, that sounds awful, but Eating fewer meals or squeezing your meals into a shorter time window, what's called intermittent fasting, has been shown to have health benefits, cellular repair and reduced inflammation, increasing the production of human growth hormone, which helps cut fat and build muscle, reducing insulin, which helps burn fat as well. Now, if you're a diabetic, that reduction in insulin can be potentially problematic. And as I always say, I'm not a doctor. If you're thinking about undertaking serious dietary changes, consult with a physician. I'm just sharing what has worked in my experience. Now, while intermittent fasting is going to be initially uncomfortable if it's not something that you've ever tried, I found that in a work context, it can increase my focus because I don't have the food coma from having a heavy lunch. And to the point of this video, it's compatible with a busy work schedule because you save time when you don't eat. All right, 6, try to get to bed earlier if you can. Notice I didn't say wake up earlier or work out in the morning. Those were things that I couldn't stick to, but just going to bed earlier will result in better sleep, more sleep, and if you're more rested, I think you'll feel more motivated to exercise, regardless of when you happen to do it. All right, and finally, if none of that is helpful and your lifestyle is still unsustainable and unhealthy because of work constraints, you can consider quitting. Consider quitting. Always an option. There are many jobs. And with that said, those are the things that I did as an investment banker, working 60, 70, 80 plus hours a week to keep some semblance of fitness. And as always, like, comment, share, subscribe. Would love to hear your thoughts on some of those tips. Maybe some of them you've already incorporated in your own life. Okay, I'll see you all next time.